What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new FA Cup analysis, FA Cup review video. And I have to start this video with what a bunch of incompetent idiots the FA are. I mean, to have a VAR last season at Swansea in the FA Cup and not this season is ludicrous. Why did the Wolves Man United game have VAR and the Swansea Manchester City game didn't have VAR, even though Swansea had VAR in the FA Cup last season? Like, what? Why? I just can't understand the logic behind this. And Manchester City scored a clear offside goal to win the game against Swansea, and also, in my opinion, but you can argue with me in the comments, Raheem Sterling dived for the Manchester City penalty. So Man City would have been out of the FA Cup if there was VAR at the Swansea ground. And maybe the FA was arguing that because Swansea is a championship club, they can't have VAR, which just is ludicrous. Like, either all the FA Cup games have VAR from the quarterfinals onwards, but I think they should have it from the last 16 onwards. And maybe you could understand that if it was Luton Town or something like that, or Lincoln City, no offense to those clubs, but if there was like really like a lower league club with not the facilities, not the logistics to implement VAR. By the way, how hard it is, if it's televised, then the TVs already show replays. So all you need to do is just put a bunch of referees in a room and they watch replays that we would watch anyway because of the TV broadcast. And that way they could have clearly seen that Aguero was a good yard offside. It wasn't even marginal. Aguero's right leg was a good yard offside when the ball was crossed. And yes, I'm salty because I wanted Swansea to go through to the FA Cup semi-finals. What a story that would have been. And by the way, just for full transparency, I've been following Swansea and supporting them from like 2005, 2006. So I have witnessed Swansea go from the 4th division, the English 4th division, all the way up to the Premier League, and 7 years in the Premier League. It has been a great journey. And then they got relegated to the Championship last season. But still, they had VAR last season. I can't stress this enough. At the same stadium, with the same facilities. And this year, the FA decides they can't have VAR because they are a championship club. Like, what on earth? How does that make sense? The referees clearly need help. The game is so fast, and you could see that some major errors occurred recently in the Premier League. And this is why I'm really mad at this, because you could clearly see that the referees need help. The game is so quick, so fast, that the human eye can't really make all the correct decisions. And what really started this for me was how Manchester City scored an offside goal against, I think it was Watford. The linesman put his flag up to flag for offside, and the referee overrules that and gives the goal. I mean, that's just ludicrous. And it is for all the teams. So I'm not saying that the referees are biased one way or the other, because Liverpool got some wrong decisions in their favor in the first part of the season. Mane scored an offside goal, I remember, against, I think it was West Ham at home in the first game of the season or something like that. So yeah, the referees are making all kinds of mistakes, and it's very clear now that the VAR is more than ready to be implemented. I mean, the VAR is already in place in the French league, in the Bundesliga, but I think the majority of the Premier League clubs voted against VAR when VAR was its infancy, and that vote clearly happened before the World Cup, because during the World Cup most of the VAR decisions were correct, and it was a big success. Yes, there was a big error in the World Cup final, but of course VAR doesn't make the system perfect, but what it does is it makes it better than human referees, and that's all we care about, in my opinion, to have more correct and right decisions. And Swansea must feel really hard done by. They were 2-0 up against a Manchester City side which was heavy favourites. I mean, a Swansea win was like an almost impossible task today, I mean yesterday, and still they almost done it. If there was VAR at the game, I'm convinced that the Raheem Sterling penalty is not given, because the defender actually gets a touch on the ball before he touches Sterling's leg, and of course Sterling falls over like he has been shot by a sniper, but the referee has given it. The linesman hasn't given it, by the way. And then the Aguero goal, I mean, that's just even Pep Guardiola in his post-match press conference admitted that with VAR that goal doesn't count, and he's sorry. But Manchester City voted for VAR, Liverpool voted for VAR. The big clubs who didn't vote for VAR were Tottenham, Chelsea and Manchester United. We know that for a fact. Pep Guardiola confirmed that in one of his previous press conferences. We don't know how many of the smaller clubs voted against VAR, but I think it can't come soon enough for English football. The Premier League is the last big league to implement VAR, and that says a lot about how many dinosaurs are living in the Premier League decision-making offices, and that just really does my head in. I mean, the whole English football suffered this year because of VAR. And yes, there is great debate about the different refereeing decisions, but I think with VAR those debates will continue, but just on different matters. I mean, last night Wolves knocked out Manchester United, which is a massive result for Wolves. They have been the best promoted side by a long distance the Premier League has ever seen, in my opinion. They are at the moment 7th in the Premier League or 8th in the Premier League, so basically they are the best of the rest outside of the top 6, and they are in the semi-finals of the FA Cup, which is a monumental achievement. And they knocked out Liverpool and Manchester United, and they have a very distinct playing style, which is really fun to watch. And Manchester United losing back-to-back games under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Now is the real time when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will prove his worth or not. We shall wait and see. But Manchester United, I think, fully deserved to go out. Wolves were the better team in every department. They had 7 shots on target, Wolves. Manchester United just had 1. That says it all. That I think Manchester United created some chances, but they were half chances. They weren't clear-cut opportunities. And there was an incident which was also very interesting, that Lindelof went through a Wolves player, like it was Jota, I think. He almost broke his leg, and the referee brandishes a straight red card. And then VAR started checking the foul. I honestly thought that VAR was only for offsides, goals or goals disallowed, and maybe fouls in the build-up to a goal. But apparently VAR can now check red cards as well to see if it was a clear and obvious error. And the referee had to overrule his own decision because he got information on his ear from the VAR room that it wasn't a red card, it was a yellow. So he reversed his decision. After Lindelof got sent off, he had to reverse his decision and give a yellow card. And I think, in all honesty, it was a borderline decision. So some people I heard, they said it was a red card. Other people said it was only a yellow. He got the ball, but also the man. And it was almost a leg breaker of a challenge. So I can see both sides of the argument. I honestly, I can't really say if it was a red card or a yellow. I'm not a referee. And I think if we give too many of those fouls as red cards when the player gets the ball, we have a really dangerous scenario where football almost becomes a non-contact sport, or where defenders will be afraid to tackle. And because there was no like studs showing, his foot wasn't like that. He just went through the ball and the player, and because he had to go from quite far, there was a lot of force in the tackle. So the Wolves player, of course, was flying through the air. So it looked bad, but it maybe wasn't a red card. So in the end, VAR overruled that and gave a yellow. And this is what infuriates me. Why didn't the Swansea game have VAR if in the same round the Wolves game had the VAR? And just remember that last year Swansea had VAR when they were playing in the FA Cup at home. That just blows my mind. But let me know, guys, what do you think about all of this in the comments below. And Man City are still up for the quadruple. I'm not too disappointed that they went through, because the more games for Manchester City, the more tired they will be, and hopefully the more points they will drop in the Premier League title race. But today Liverpool will play Fulham. I'm really looking forward to that game. I will have post-match analysis and Fanzone live reactions for that, and also a Liverpool career mode coming before that as well. So stay tuned. A great day of uploads coming on my channel, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. See you later, guys. Have a nice day. Goodbye.